Hello, this video is a course intro video for Smalley's Math 2414 Calculus 2 course in the fall of the 22 semester. So let's get started here. There are two ways you can get to the D2L, either through your My Lone Star path, but there's also, which this will take you to My Lone Star if you click Secure Login. But if you just want to get to D2L without logging into My Lone Star, you can do that too. Also, this alternate login, which is something that could be used just in case something with My Lone Star wasn't working, but yet you could still possibly access D2L. So we'll click on that. And I'm going to find our course right here. So first thing I want to do is going to just kind of go through the syllabus real quick. And like I said, you can read the details yourself, but I'll just kind of hit the highlights of this. The main things in this course that you'll be paying attention to here are content. Grades will just be where you'll see your grades, and then course activities, mainly the quizzes feature right down here. That's what's going to be the important one from there. So content's where all the material is located. I'll change this over to student view, and we'll take a look at it. I may need to change it back and forth for whatever reason here, but so I'm going to go to content, and on the left side we have several folders here, course content. Now I have a folder that's course syllabus and just other documents. Now that says course intro video, which I hope no one is watching that particular one at the time I record this one, because that one is obsolete. That's an old one. So I paused the video and went ahead and decided to remove that course intro video. Then of course by the time you see this video will be back in there, and the new video will be in that same position. All right, so let's see what we got here. Syllabus, we're going to run through that real quick, and I'll just mention a few other things here. So here's the, let me put this, okay, well, it's not that, but expand this as a D2L file. You can just download it. In fact, any files in here in this course that you'd like to download and keep for yourself, go right ahead. And it'd be a little easier to see in this format. So, all right, got my name on there. Course 2414. I'll give you more information about this. Most likely be like on a Zoom thing or something or another. I'm not sure about this first Wednesday. In fact, I'll make an announcement saying I don't think I'll be available for this first one. But it'll be just, I'll give you the link where to when we start doing this officially, where we log into for that if you want to pop in and ask me questions. But, obviously you can email me messages anytime, and under certain circumstances I could, work out a time to help you with an issue or something at other times. But I'm just posting this as like an official time. But I'm certainly willing to help you outside of that. All right. Prerequisite. Cal 1, basically. We don't need to read this. Don't need to read that. Or, you can read that, but a lot of that's not going to make any sense until after the course is over. Now, textbook, there is an official textbook that we use, but you don't have to use it. If you have a different textbook for calculus textbook, you can work with that. I'm going to show you another option here in just a minute. And it mentions here that MyMathLab or Cengage is not required for the course. If you have a MyMathLab, say if you used a book that was MyMathLab previously, and they still support the book, I could, with the right information, I could create a blank course for you with no official assignments, but it would allow you to access the resources. I think I probably need to get rid of that, but I may have to create a new one. I'm not sure if this thing's valid anymore, so don't try that. All right, well, I'm not going to read all this. Here's the official day of record, 9/12/22. Just kind of make sure you've at least logged in once before then. I mean, you should have logged in way more times than just once, but if I go there and check, I may drop someone, if they're not in there by that, they've at least logged in by that date. That's basically your method of sort of a participation or showing that you're in the class since you're not attending in person. You don't have to send me any messages or anything. I can see who's logged in, who hasn't. And there's the withdrawal date. Okay, let's see. All right, here we go. Division contact, department chair. All right, let's see how we're going to get a grade in this class. That's probably important. We have a homework average, 3 unit exams, and then a final exam. Now, if you've had classes with me before, calculus classes namely, which you might have had me for Cal 1, this homework thing is going to work exactly the way as what they were called quizzes did before. It's going to work exactly the same way, so you'll see that. I've been wanting to rename it to homework for years and never got around to it. So now I've done it because basically they are homework assignments anyway. If you're familiar with me, and when you see how I explain them, they certainly seem more like homework than they do quizzes because they're not taken in real time. All right, so you're going to have 10 these homework assignments. The lowest 4 will be dropped, and then the highest 6 of them will be averaged to form the homework average, which is 25% of the grade. Well, that's if it counts. Let me explain more detail what's in this next box. There's 3 unit exams, which will be 25% or equally weighted, and then the final exam, which is mandatory, and that's 25% of the course grade. Well, that sort of adds up to 125%, but let's come down here to this next box, and here's what's happening is that out of the 3 exams and the homework exams, the lowest, as it says right here, number 3, will be dropped. Most people, it's usually one of the exams, but it is possible that your homework average might be lower than your exams, and that's usually for people that if they've just done really well in the exams. But for well over 90% of the people, well over 95% of the people, the homework average is helpful because it will replace one exam score. So I don't like to use the wording if someone asks me, do you drop an exam? Because that if I say yes, that means, it's automatically dropped no matter what. It's important to realize, but you can replace an exam, but it's with the homework average. So in other words, a student could not, skip the homework and then also come back later and want to drop an exam. You can't do both. So I'd be careful with that. So I don't, use the wording, I drop an exam, but absolutely the homework average can replace an exam. So just think of those as 4 items. Exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, homework average, 4 numbers, the lowest one of those 4 will be dropped. So you have 3 of them at 25%, there's 75%, final 25%, and there's 100%. So, all right. And you can ask me about that if you're not sure. Okay, standard letter grade issue stuff here. I'll let you read all this. I don't think I necessarily need to read that. I will mention here, which I'll show you here when I get back to D12, but yes, we have these homework assignments, but I also have some optional practice, not graded kind of homework, just for which you can always ask me questions about. That's separate. That's not the homework assignments. All right. This is just a sort of a tentative calendar. Official due dates are in D2L. There's no due dates here or anything. They wanted us to start doing this a couple years ago for students, and I think it's a good idea, actually. But it's just sort of a general pace, or whatever. But you probably don't want to fall behind this pace, but you certainly can work a little bit ahead. Like, for example, if you've got a week where, hey, I got a big physics test or whatever, so maybe the week before that, you're going to say, well, I'll try to get ahead on calculus a little bit. Yeah, so that's all. This is just, a general guideline. You don't have to follow anything specifically that's on here. Like I said, there's just the week dates in the semester and then just sections covered and that sort of thing. But I'm glad it's there, but maybe people can help some pace themselves a little bit better. So, all right, there's just a bunch of other policies we have at our wonderful Lone Star College University Park. So that takes care of the syllabus. I know, so I went through that quick, but, it's going to stay in there the rest of the semester, so you'll be able to ask questions anytime you want to. Okay, here's something called Review of Cal 1 Topics. I don't know what that is. This is worry about this later, but this just tells you the list of the problems for the exam. When I say list of problems, it's only descriptive. I'm not just giving you the final exam right there. But I'm making it easier for you to study because it pinpoints the material down. And it just tells you the description of the problem. So it makes you can focus your study a lot more. I don't do that for the first 3 exams, but I like to do that for the final because by the time of the final, everything's potentially on the final. So to trim your studying. And here's that thing I was telling you. This is a suggested practice problems list. And it's going to go with another book I'm about to show you here in a second. Suggested, nothing graded. It's just a list of practice problems like, a normal instructor might give. Or typical. I wouldn't describe myself as normal, but typical. Yeah, so just keep in mind those are all practice. And they show you the sections that are going to be on each exam, but it's the homework assignments I'm going to show you that are in D2L PDF files. That's what is graded, not these problems. Okay. Hopefully I made that clear enough. Nothing on this list is for grade. And Calc Chat, that is a website for like solutions to the odd problems in the textbook. Now, sometimes though, these solutions might not show every step, so you certainly can ask about that. And I've had students ask me that before because they might skip some steps and go, "Hey, how'd they get from here to here?" And then I can explain that to you. But it's better than just showing the answer. Now, these formulas, you'll be able to use these yourself when you take the exams, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Trig sheet, you can also use any of this. I'll probably rename these titles and get rid of that not provided stuff. Anyway, let's see. Now, I'm going to show you this in this video, but you can go back to this document, which a lot of people forget about during the semester. They'll go, I don't know how to look at my quiz. Well, this tells you how to enter it, which I'm going to show you, and this tells you how to view it, which I'm going to show you. But if you don't want to scroll through this video again to find the explanation, you can pop up this file right here. Khan Academy has videos. I'm going to show you, I have my own personal videos, and obviously any resource you want to use, terrific. Doesn't have to be just my way only, but I like to provide my own resources, my own videos and notes and stuff. All right, this thing called Other Resources, this is what I was mentioning earlier about another book here. This is a PDF file to a book that my notes are based on. Like I said, you can study out of any book. You would just have to, take the sections and figure out what sections match mine. But this is where my notes are based on. It's from this book right here. It's an old edition of Larson, 9th edition. So I'm not going to open up that PDF file. It's a lot of pages to it. So, but that's there, and that's what. If we go back over here, that's what let me go back up here. That's what my suggested practice problem list is based on, is that particular book. And this calc chat, well, also then you would be based on those problems. And this list of problems for the final exam, it shows the section number next to the problem. It's the section number coming from that book. So, like I said, you can study from anything you want, but that's how everything's going to kind of be outlined in the notes, and everything is based on that particular book. Anyway, so let's come around and look through here. Let's see what I got here. I got lecture notes, and they're grouped by exams. And one thing I'll mention here, and so under exam 1 notes, that way you know, hey, what's going to be on exam 1? Well, it's everything under the exam 1 notes. Also, if you look at that suggested problem list, it's organized that way also. Now, one thing about this is, unlike my Cal 1, exam 1, 2, and exam 3 covered everything. This one's a little different because we have 4 sections at the end that are going to be represented on the final, but they're not part of the first 3 exams. So it's a little section of 4 right there at the end, chapter 10 in that particular book. So, yeah, that's the only. In Cal 1, I have it exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, and there's no new information between exam 3 and the final. So this is a little bit different. So you just open those up, PDF files, enjoy. Let's see, I've got some old pre-Cal notes and I put important notes from Cal 1. I don't have any pre-Cal reference, I don't know. So that's obviously the course ends right here at parametric and polar. But important notes from Cal 1, and I'll mention this real quick too so I don't forget. You know, we learned a lot of different things in Cal 1, but I'm going to let you know that really there's only 3 important things that we need in this class in importance. Well, limits, derivatives, and antiderivatives, aka integrals. Limits, in fact, the first section we start out with is going to be limits, so yeah, that's important, but you'll get that ironed out again right at the very beginning. But then derivatives and antiderivatives are extremely important. I'm going to tell you some of the stuff you learned in Cal 1, related rates, optimization, a lot of the graphing things, that sort of stuff we learned, is not going to be used in this course. I'm just letting you know how it is. Just letting you know. So that's why, you know, I don't have all my Cal 1 notes there. So especially the integration, you got it, because the derivatives is a little more straightforward. You can kind of apply a formula to it, and it's not too bad. But integration, you're working backwards. And so if you need to review that, please do, because especially integration by substitution, all integration is important. But that's the underlying theme to everything we do, is if you cannot do integration by substitution, it's going to make all the other integration that we learn more difficult. It's just going to compound. So yeah, you want to, if you nothing wrong, if you want to take a shot at that and start reviewing that. I don't know if I have any Cal 1 lecture. Well, I have Cal 1 lecture videos at my same YouTube site, math space prof space small. You can actually find the videos that go with these notes. All right. So, do I have the Cal 1 videos in? Okay, I've got the videos. Oh, I got probably all my Cal 1 videos in there. Well, you don't need all of those. Like I said, you just need the ones that relate to what I was kind of telling you with the limits, especially about the derivatives and the antiderivatives. So here we go. Cal 2 videos. Let's see what's in here. And I got videos for exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, and then those 4 sections I was telling you about right here. So let's see what we got. And there they are. So it's just a video of me sort of explaining the notes. All right. Let's see. And then Cal 1 videos, like I said, if you need to use those as a review. And these are all organized by each exam, so there's no mystery or anything. If anything was going to change as far as exam coverage, I would certainly make an announcement about it. So you can sort of assume that this is pretty much set in stone. And frankly, that's never happened to me for an online class. Because instances, for face-to-face classes, it's happened. You know, maybe we, had a ice storm like we had there at one time, or flooding, or things where not being able to meet at campus was a problem. That's not an issue for face-to-face. So it's highly, highly unlikely I would have to change any of these order. Got 2 videos there. I probably should, if I made a new one there, I should probably get rid of the old one. All right, so I'll do that. Yeah, I think I revised it this last spring, so I'll just get rid of the other one. I got exam reviews. Now, so the exam reviews, now what we have here, and there's always more problems, and I'll announce this a little bit later too, way more on a review than the test. Well, the thing I showed you with final exam, if you look at that deal, it shows there's 30 problems. The 3 regular exams have 20 problems. They're all multiple choice. So yeah, don't freak out when you look at these reviews and go, oh, there's 60 problems on the review. That means there'll be 60 problems on the test. No. I always put more in my reviews because just so you can have a variety of things to practice. That's always good. So what we have is the file with just the original questions. I think there's a key at the very bottom of it or whatever, but there's got all that. So you scroll down and let's see how many are on this one. 50 something. Yeah, 56. Okay. So we have that. And then obviously you want to try as many as you can, see what you can do. But then now you have this to refer to. The solutions are my written solutions. So you see there's the steps for the written solutions. And if there is something that's unclear in the written part, well, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. I have videos where you can hear me verbally explain it. And then, so if there's something, that you see a problem, okay, you wrote that there, but I'm not sure why, then you can listen to me say it. Now, you see these videos are grouped by blocks of problems. So you see it's 1 through 5. So yeah, obviously, if it's number 18, you click on this video and you can just scroll through forward to number 18. I remember when I was first making these videos that I was having issues with the recording software crashing and stuff. So, and I decided to just put them in shorter blocks. So the video would process okay and that sort of thing. And that worked out well. So yeah, so you have me explaining them. So these are video links right here. And then the same thing all the way through. I won't worry about opening up anymore, but same thing for exam 2, exam 3. And then let's see, for the final. So we have all these videos. Oh, you have to load more. You have to load more here to get to the videos for the final. Yeah, there we go. All right. So you have those resources. And these are just some Cal 3 notes. I'd put those in there. I'd had students before ask me, hey, I'm going to have to take Cal 3 somewhere else. Do you have your notes that I can use or something or another? Sure. And I also have videos at my same YouTube site you can use. And sometimes that happens with transfers of students. You can only transfer X number of hours, and they take my Cal 2, and I can't take Cal 3s. I can't transfer it, which makes sense. So that's a resource. Now, okay, let's get into the last thing we need to talk about here. Are the graded homework assignments? 10 files. Now the first one is the only one that has 20. The rest of them are all 10. So what you do, they're homework, they're multiple choice homework. You click on this. So as I said it before earlier in the video, like I said, I'll probably make an announcement in D2L because I suspect that I may have folks that took me for Cal 1 and may not watch this video because, okay, I know how he works, so I don't need to, if they know my system there, they might not, and that's okay. Obviously anyone new to me certainly needs to be Now, don't worry. I haven't gone through. Don't worry about what this title says. Just judge it by the title of the file in D2L. Yeah, it's homework assignment 1. Doesn't matter what that says right there. Nothing matters there. If I can, maybe I'll go through and edit those out. I may not. I don't know. So what you do is you go through these. Like I said, this one has 20. You answer all of them. And then when you've answered all of them, and obviously if you need to guess on something, please guess. I mean, obviously you don't want to rely on guessing, but I wouldn't want you to, let's say if you had like 19 out of 20 and you weren't sure about one, go ahead and guess on it. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm not going to be looking at what you do there. You want to answer all of them. This is not like if you've worked with my math lab before or something like that, where that kind of electronic homework where you kind of go in, work some problems, stop, go back later, work them on again. That's not how this works. You have to work them all in advance and submit your answers in advance. I mean, submit it all at once by the proper deadline. So you can work on them a little at a time, sure. I'm just saying you don't go into D2L and enter your answers a few at a time. Oh, absolutely. If you're working the file, you work a few, stop, come back to the paper file, work more that way. But then once you have them done, so that's also, let's say I'll go to another one, assignment 2. This one will just be 10 problems. So like I said, the first assignment is sort of a review stuff from Cal 1. Assignment 2 is the first one that relates to the new material. Yeah, there's 10 of them. So you want to answer those. Let's go back to this. So there we go. There's 10 of those assignments. So as I explained in the syllabus, the lowest 4 grades will be dropped. Whether you don't submit it or, dropping a 50 is no different than dropping a 0, in other words. It's just going to be the 6 best numbers you've got. So we go here to course activities. This is how, course activities is how we handle both homework and exams. So here's what we do. There's your point of view. What you'll do is, so you see the deadline, September 11th. So you work on them, but then you enter everything in by that deadline. I believe you have like 60 minutes once you enter that, but this is something that should take you probably no more than 5 minutes. But that way, I just made it 60 minutes so no one can complain that he didn't give us enough time. You have more than 60 minutes to work the problems. It's just once you open this up, then you've got 60 minutes to enter your answers. That you go slow. Because one thing I want to mention here, and it might be mentioned in my syllabus, I think somewhere in there it mentions it, that sometimes, I don't do this on purpose, but some of these problems will scramble the order of the answers. I don't do that. It can't change the values of the problem, like my math lab, because they're already fixed in there. But for some reason, I can't figure out how to stop it, but it will change the order of the answers. So watch for that. So that's why you need to be careful when you enter your answers. If you work a problem and you're for certain the right answer is 2.5, and let's say it's A on the PDF file, but you come to enter the same problem in here, and the answer C says 2.5, you pick the one that says 2.5. In other words, you pick the one that has the right answer, even if it's a different letter. But that does happen from time to time, but as long as you're careful, you shouldn't have any issues. So you click on this. Okay. I'm going to skip the showing of the taking of the quiz this time. It's pretty straightforward. You click Start Quiz, and then you just enter all your answers, and then you hit Submit there at the end. Double check and make sure they're all bubbled. If you click one because it always, I think it may warn you if they're not all answered, but I wouldn't trust that. Just look, because you might think you click on a bubble and miss or something like that, going, oh, I missed that bubble. But yeah, just check them, make sure they're all answered, then you'll submit. Alrighty, now, and then it'll tell you your score, and it'll put that score in the grade book. Okay, now let me go back to quizzes. It'll show you your grade. Now, this, like I said, that shows you that's in that same folder with the syllabus. And this video will be shows you how to take these quizzes, and then that's more of a general Lone Star one. It's not for this class. Now here's the tricky part. Once you know how to do it, it won't be tricky. But how you view your quizzes. Now it'll submit your grade, but let me make something clear though: the quizzes are not viewable until 1 hour after the deadline. So if you I know sometimes it's frustrating to have to wait, but I just do that just so, somebody, obviously if somebody makes 100, they can share the answers, but if they don't, I don't want to give away the answer key before the deadline. So what you do, if you do this first one on September 9th and you make a 90 and you're dying to know which one you missed, just hang in there a couple days until the deadline. And when you come back in here, and so 1 hour, so it'll be ready at 1 a.m., which, you may not be awake by 1 a.m. I understand that, but it'll stay open after that the rest of the semester. But I'm just saying it's not available till 1 a.m. But to view your submission, you would think you might go back and just click on this blue thing again. That seems logical, but that's only for when you actually enter your answers. That doesn't submit the quiz for you. Submit your quiz. I'm sorry. That's not how you view your quiz. You'll go to this drop down arrow next to your quiz and you'll click on submissions right there. Submissions, it'll say something like view submission or view report. It'll be real easy. But like I said, that's not going to work until 1 hour after that deadline. So you click on that, and that gets you to your results. And if you miss whatever you miss, you'll be able to see exactly which ones you miss. All right. Now, let's see. So we come down here, and it's in order. All the due dates. So like I said, that little calendar thing I had in the syllabus had no due dates. This has your due dates. That's important. So that's how you know how to pace yourself. You don't have to wait for me to tell you when something to do. Everything is ready. Everything can be submitted in advance. And you see, come down here. Here's the exam. Now the exam has a password, which I'll be giving you the password for these. Now, as of right now, I'll put out more information later. The final exam might need to be proctored, which I'll talk about. The first 3 exams, I might use Respondus or anything, or I might not use a proctoring thing. But the last exam, which either the testing center, the final maybe the Proctor U or some other, either Lone Star Testing Center. But I'll provide that information. But just be forewarned, that one might require proctoring because we're allowed to proctor exams even if you're used to not having them proctored. That hasn't gone away forever. It did go away, kind of during when COVID was at its height there, but we're trying to work proctoring back in because that's the way we want to do these exams to make it more valid for transferability and all that kind of stuff. So here's your due dates. Now keep in mind, these are due dates. That means that's the deadline. You can do it that day or any time earlier. So people think, if you choose that day, that's fine, but it can be done early. Because I have had people, not so much for these exams, but I had this in the summer, and almost every semester somebody will go, hey, if I'm a little ahead, can I finish the course a little early? Absolutely, you can finish the course a little early. So you can do anything. Everything will be open for the entire semester. But they do have stopping points. That's the only thing is you have deadlines, but work a little early. Like I said, here, I'll use that example or whatever. Let's say, you got a big physics test there on September 30th right here. Well, plan your schedule out to maybe take this exam on, 28th, 29th, 27th, whatever. Yeah, so you can kind of work around things like that by planning itself. If you finish early, that's fine. One thing I will mention, this came up a lot in the summer. If you finish a little early, I can't automatically submit your official grade. They don't release the grade roster to instructors to like about the last week of classes during the last week. But so then I can't enter your grade if there's nowhere for me to enter it. If you finish the course in 3 weeks, I'm still not going to be able to enter your official grade till the end of the semester. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that. But that happens a lot in the summer. I had classes that ended right at the end of the summer, and they're wanting to get them quick for transferability for fall course prerequisites and things like that. I certainly respect the fact that people wanted to get their grade early, and I had no problem with it, but I just had to explain, and I think by about Monday or Tuesday of that last week when the final was, I was able to start entering their grades if they were finished, so that I could get it a few days early for them, but I can only do what I'm limited to do. So everything's in here. Your 10 homework assignments, your 3 exams, and your final. All right, let me go back and look and see. Let's go back to content. So quizzes covers both homework assignments and exams. And I think that's pretty close to wrapping this up here. Obviously you can ask about anything you want, so anything you're not sure about, but I think that's all I really needed to say to kind of get things going. So hopefully this guide will help you if you're new to me there or whatever, to be able to jump right in and get started instead of just seeing all this stuff and wondering, what am I supposed to do here? That's the main reason I started doing these videos a few years ago, and I'm really happy I started doing that, because I think it's very beneficial for students. So with that being said, I think we're going to have a wonderful semester this term, and I'll just send you announcements with various information. So obviously check your announcements as regularly as possible. Even if you've worked ahead or something, and you're not going to be doing any material, just pop in and look and see if I've said anything important or whatever. And all right, with that, I will conclude this video. Thank you for your time.